Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talks with Todd.
Yeah, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, Talks with Todd. I'm your host, Wit Todd, man. Listen, y'all want to hear all about my dirty laundry, everything that I did wrong to mess up my life and got it back on track. You need to go back and watch season 1 and season 2. Season 3 is something totally different. Season 3 is about the people. And speaking of the people, I have the people's expert with me today. The people expert, okay? And for those of y'all that don't know who it is, I'm going to introduce y'all. To her pretty soon. Just listen, though. My first introduction to this woman, it wasn't even face-to-face, okay? I'm watching a totally different podcast from a young lady that I used to go to high school with, and I instantly fell in love with her energy. I mean, she spoke great. She was raw. She was funny. But she was one of those people that's just for everybody to listen to. Like, you can't miss. Anybody can listen to this woman. Kids, older men, older women, younger women. Somebody can catch a gem from her. You understand me? Anybody can catch a gem from her. If you can't, something wrong. Seriously. Okay? She's on Fox too. She has her own show called Speaking Life. And we're going to get into all of that today. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm welcome to Dr. Sabrina Jackson. How you doing?
Woo! What up, though, people? What up, though? I am a Detroiter, so I have to give a Detroiter's greeting. What up, though? Hey, Todd.
How you doing?
I'm so good.
I know you are. I'm so glad that you was able to make it today, so I really appreciate it. Man.
Well, I tell people all the time, invite me, I'll come. That's just pretty much how it goes.
That's dope. So today I want to talk to you real quick about what got you into mental health.
Ooh, that is such a good question. When I was 10 years old, I saw a movie by the name of Sybil. It came out in 1976, so don't be trying to count up and see how old I am. But in 1976, I watched this movie, and it was about a little girl who had multiple personality. Or a young lady, she wasn't a little girl. And the psychiatrist was so fascinating to me because she would go, "No, I don't want to talk to her. Go get so-and-so and let me talk to her." And literally in your face, the girl would just transform and transfigure her personality. It fascinated me. And that's the first thing that let me know that I wanted to work with people around mental challenges. And so at that time, I thought I wanted to be a psychiatrist, which is a medical doctor.
Okay.
So I did go to Cass Tech. I was in Chem Bio to start.
Okay.
And then I was like, one day a lady came, I was in the 9th grade, and a lady came who was a clinical therapist. And it was in the 80s, so she had a geometric hair cut, and she had these really funky, like, Devo glasses. And I was in love and enthralled with her. And as she began to explain what she did, then I decided that's what I zeroed in on. That's what I wanted to do. And so that's what I did from the 9th grade. I just really went all in on becoming a clinical therapist. And so I went to Eastern Michigan University.
Okay.
And then when I finished, I was looking for a job. And my instructor, shout out to Dr. Sylvia, she said, no, you're going to fill out this application and go get your master's.
Right.
And I remember thinking, they only accept like 6 people in this advanced standing program. And advanced standing meant it was advanced, so it was accelerated. And I says, they ain't going to let me in. And so she said, no, do the application. I did the application. They let me in.
That's
so
great.
my program was only 10 months. And I remember at the end of the program, I was asking my mother, are they going to give me a degree for real?
Right.
For this? Because I had been in school so long, school was easy. So that master's program went by like lightning. I did extremely well. And they gave me a degree, and I was only 23.
That's fire. I like that. That's great. Now, you were in school after high school, you went straight to college, right?
Straight to college.
Okay. Now, what side of town are you from?
I'm from the west side of town. I grew up over
West
by
side?
Mumford. Mumford High School was my neighborhood high school. I went to Schultz Elementary School. I went to Bobian Middle School.
I did too.
And then I went to Cass Tech because my mother said, you cannot go to Mumford. Because, you know, back in the day, they say the girls was fast.
Yeah.
She said, you fast. I said, oh, mother. But I went to Cass. But my neighborhood, I grew up on Sorrento. So on one side of me, the Sheards, Bishop Sheard and his family were my neighbors 2 doors down.
Okay.
And so I'm still hanging and rocking with the Church of God in Christ. And then on the corner, 2 blocks down, were the Clark sisters. So Maddie Moss and all of those were just my neighbors.
Right.
And so I was thinking today as I was driving, it's amazing how so many of us that were in that same neighborhood are not just doing things awesome in Detroit, but they are doing awesome things around the world.
Yeah.
You think about the Clark sisters. The Clark sisters are international phenoms. You know, they have Grammys. They got a Gospel Legends Award from the Grammys this year. They already had Grammys, but now they're living legends. They have movies about them. It's just amazing, and I would just see and be hanging with them.
And everybody was in close proximity, so that's dope.
And then I look at Drew Sheard, who is now the bishop over the entire Church of God in Christ. He is the prelate. Everybody. If you Church of God in Christ, that's your bishop.
Right.
It's amazing. Yeah. And I remember him coming over and asking for the Sheards to cut the bushes. You know, he would have the assignment to be cutting the bushes at his house, and they didn't have cutting shears, and so they would borrow ours. So I just remember all of that.
Yeah, that's cool. That you could even go back to all of that. That's cool.
Yes. So I have a very rich legacy of where I grew up and who I hung out with and what we did. And even when I went to college, I joined the gospel choir at Eastern.
Okay.
And I remember getting a letter, because this is before FaceTime.
Right.
My mother would write me letters. And she wrote me a letter and said how proud she was that I joined the choir, because she knew that by me making that decision on my own that I would stay on the straight and narrow, and then I wouldn't get, kicked out of school and all that kind of stuff. So
that makes sense. Because my mom was trying to force me to go to college after high school, and I didn't want to go. And then when I made my mind up to go, she was, was being more supportive about it, because I decided to do it.
You have to decide on your own. And I tell parents this all the time. You have to learn, especially when your children are matriculating to become an adult, how to move from being the supervisor of their life to the supporter of their life.
Yeah.
So I stopped supervising my child and just became the rah-rah. So I tell them all the time, I'm Team Marcel all day, every day.
That's dope.
And whatever he doing, I'm all down for it, as long as it's legal.
Right, of course.
It's got to be legal.
Yeah.
But I'm so very proud of him. So, yeah.
That's dope.
So that's what got me into being... Let me tell you how I got the name The People Expert.
Okay.
Because I didn't name myself The People Expert.
Okay.
I was suite mates with a girl named Staffy. Her name was Butler at the time. She got married. His name is Staffy Blakely. Everybody knows her. She does a lot in the gospel world. She's a gospel singer. And so one day she was hosting a gospel show, and I was a guest. And so she was introducing me, and she says, she said, oh, she's just a people expert.
Right.
And I went, I like it. Yeah. I think I'll keep it. And so then God gave me the little tag that goes after it, because I say I'm a people expert because I help people with people, even if that person is themselves.
Right.
Because we think it's somebody else that needs the help, and it's really us standing in the need of some help. And so thank you, Staffy.
That's dope. I like that. I like that a lot. Now, since you ran with that name, how did you start to use it to market?
Well, I just started saying that I was Dr. Sabrina, the people expert. Okay. I just started saying it. When people introduce me, I put it on all my, on my website, on my materials when I'm speaking, and it just, people like it.
Yeah, it actually suits you for real.
And it's funny because at one point I said, well, maybe people don't get it. Maybe I should change it. So I went to a coach. And we did this whole 8-hour day to come up with a new brand for me. and we came up with the success, I don't even remember what it was, the success something. And so I started to use that, and I bought all this I branded all this stuff with the success something. And we just went right on back to the people expert.
Right. Hey, some
and
stuff
so now I'm going to just, I stick with the people expert. I've gotten all these different things that we have that's kind of jumped off from the people expert. So when I first started doing things on Fox, I had a segment called People 911 because people are in a state of emergency. And if people are in a state of emergency, who they need? The people expert.
That's perfect. That's perfect. I like that. I like that a lot. Now when that started, what were some of the, can you talk about some of the phone calls you were getting?
Oh, from people?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord, I still get them. Most times when people see me on TV, but they'll call me, and they call me about all different types of things. So sometimes people will call me about, I remember a guy called that morning, his granddaughter, had tried to commit suicide. And he says, I don't know what to do. And so I was able to get her to the hospital, because if she was trying to took some pills or whatever, to get 911 out and to, immediately handle that situation.
Right.
I've had situations where parents have called and says, okay, my teenager won't do nothing I need them to do, and I think they need to talk to somebody. And do you think, I want them to talk to you because you seem like, when I see you on TV, that you're approachable, that you're down to earth, but that you know nonsense.
Right.
And so, I'll get them too. But then sometimes I just get people that call and say stuff like, well, my roof needs fixing. And I just thought maybe you knew who can get me to help get my roof fixed.
Oh, okay.
Or then I had a man called, he says that he was featured in the paper, like maybe in the 70s. He was in an article with Rosa Parks, and he says, I've been trying to find that article. Can you help me find the article? So I be thinking to myself, what is it about me that makes a person think, I'm going to call her because she going to help me find the article? Because the same things that I can do, he can do.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not the article finder. But it was funny because my mother used to ask me all kind of stuff. And I would go, Ma, and she would tell her friends, oh, just call Sabrina.
Yeah.
Just call Sabrina.
She got all the answers.
Call Sabrina. And I go, Ma, why are you telling people? That's not what I do. Oh, you can figure it out, though. And it's a good feeling, though, to know that people trust you.
Yeah, exactly.
Enough to call and reach out to you. And then people are always amazed if they call my office and I answer the phone.
Oh, yeah.
Because they'll say, oh, my God, I thought I was going to get the voicemail.
Yeah.
Or I thought I was going to get your assistant. Well, you got me. It is my phone.
Now, has it ever become like overwhelming for you?
Well, the thing that's been overwhelming with just being a therapist, you have to learn how to not take on everything that people are giving you.
Right.
Because I've had trauma beyond trauma with clients. I remember having a client who her 8-year-old son hung himself.
Oh. Wow.
So at 8, he took his own life. But then in talking with her brother had killed himself. And that was the example that the 8-year-old saw. And so we was able to, dive into some of that. And so when you have people coming to you with their most traumatic situations, and you are a feeling, loving, kind. I mean, I do what I do because I love people.
Right.
And so it's hard not to break down, because you can't break down in front of them. You got to be strong in front of them. And so how do you then get it off you?
Right.
So for a long time, I would come home, I would be depressed, I'd be sad, I don't want to do nothing today. And so my spiritual mother, she called me one day and says, you got to learn how to get it off of you. And so she gave me a ritual to do, and I used to do it a lot. I don't have to do it anymore because I've figured out how to walk back into my life. That's what she called it, walking back into your life and not crashing into your life. And so I would go outside in the backyard, and I would put my hands in the ground and pray.
Oh, okay. I can see how that could be calming.
Put my hands in the ground, kind of in the dirt, and it'll ground me. Then I get up and I go. And so, but now I don't have to do stuff like that. For the most part, things don't bother me like that anymore, I guess, because I've been doing it over 30 years.
Yeah.
And so now there's certain things that I know that when I'm done in a session, or when I'm done with a client, or when I'm done talking with whoever I'm talking to about these issues, I will immediately just kind of package it and leave it there. Mm-hmm. And then I'll go back into my life and I'll do something that's funny. Because laughter is medicine.
Yes, it is.
So people see me all the time. You see me at all the comedy shows because I love to laugh. I laugh on purpose.
Good. I like that. I use jokes as like a defense mechanism all the time. Like anytime I'm mad, I'll get to joking too much. Sometimes it's too much, but that's how you know I'm really trying to get something off. So yeah, I definitely understand that. That's my thing for sure. Now, what's the most inspiring thing that's happened since you've been a therapist?
The most inspiring thing. The most inspiring thing for me. I think when you see your clients years later, I'll run into people. It's a lady that when she started coming to see me, she was coming to see me, her and her husband, and he was abusive. At the time, and they were trying to work it out, and so he wound up not getting no better in it, but she kept coming. And to see her now, she has a podcast that she does now working with domestic violence people. And she says all the time that Dr. Sabrina is the one that got me together. So to hear somebody, say that the things that I did 20 years ago.
Right. Help them.
And so now they're standing and walking and doing the thing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I think it's also amazing when I speak, because I speak and train, and when I'm speaking, and so people will come up to me and says, "Oh my God, you came to my job and you changed my life." Or I speak and a person of a different ethnic group that I didn't even think could really understand me.
Right.
Come up to me crying. Because they says, "Oh my God, what you said was for me." Wow. It was for me. And so those things are inspiring to me. And so now being on TV and people seeing you and recognizing you, it just warms my heart when people see me and they get so excited. Like this one older lady saw me in a restaurant and she literally was trembling. She was like, "I just love you." She says, "Can I take a picture with you?" And I says, "Of course you could take a picture." So I took my coat off and everything. And she was on the phone. She says, "I cannot believe it's the lady from the news." And then she showed me in her phone where she has a file of all, she takes my acronyms and she takes a picture of them and she keeps them.
Oh, wow.
I've had so many people that do that. That said that they keep it, or they'll be in the house, and when they hear my voice, they stop what they're doing and sit down and listen.
That's so dope.
So yeah,
love that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that is amazing. Now, when did you get started with the podcasting?
Oh, that's so funny. I was doing so radio was my thing first,
right?
So I used to have my very first radio show was on 1200 a.m.
Okay.
Years ago, on a Saturday at 12 noon. It was called Address the Stress with SAS, because my initials at the time, my middle name is Ann, and my last name was Sanders.
Got you.
And so that was the name of my company, SAS Counseling and Consulting Services.
Okay.
So when I started the radio show, shout out to Mildred Gaddis, because she was the one who set me up to do the radio show. And so that was my first taste of this whole broadcasting world. And then what was so funny when I was doing that show, Aretha Franklin would listen to my show. Aretha Franklin liked talk radio.
Wow.
I mean, I knew Riri, so that, that it wasn't surprising that she was listening. It was surprising she would call and say, "I don't want to go on air, but I got a question." And so they would say, "Aretha Franklin's on the phone." And I'd say, "Aretha Franklin is not on the phone." And I get on the phone. She say, Bree. And I go, oh, hey.
Right.
It is you.
Right.
So that was the first that I started doing radio. And then from there, I went to WMUZ and I had a show called The Essentially Sabrina Show. And then I left there and I did 9-10. I had a show from 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. called Sizzle and Talk with Dr. Sabrina. And they used to call me the Black Dr. Ruth. Because we talked adult talk.
Right.
Adult. Grown up conversation. And then and when I left 9-10, they said, my producers, a whole bunch of people said, why don't you start a podcast? Miles, start a podcast. And I was like, no.
Right.
I don't think so. Because I didn't get it. You know, all this technology stuff, I didn't really get it. So I was just like, no, I'm good.
Right.
And so my son kept saying, Ma, you need to do a podcast. You need to do a podcast. You need to do a podcast. So then Miles kind of twisted my arm and got me. And so he came up with, I think Miles came up with the name Speaking Life with Dr. Sabrina. So
that's perfect. I like that. I like that a lot. We actually got a video we're gonna go to right now, and I actually make clips for the podcasting promo page. So I took one of your clips. I was supposed to put it on there, but I had so many left over. I'm like, you know what, this is perfect. I'll just use it for the show. So yeah, it's really good though. You said something. You was speaking facts.
I don't know what it is about humans that we'll go to the negative instead of the positive. We'll go to, 21 might be enough.
Right. No.
Nobody might not like 22. Or, I remember I was on TV on Fox and something happened, and usually when things happen, I get a call to be interviewed, and this thing happened, and nobody called me. And so I was sitting in my room going, no one wants to hear my voice anymore. I'm done. I'm old.
Right.
It's going to get younger people. And God got me together immediately. God said, Sabrina, you shine every week. You on TV every week. Allow your sister who's being interviewed time to shine.
Yeah.
And her shining don't take nothing away from your shine, and your shine don't take nothing away from her shine.
Yeah.
True story.
Yes.
That was real life stuff. I told you, the Holy Spirit get me together quick. The Holy Spirit be like, ma'am, hey, you, you all out of order.
Yeah. But I love your show though. Like you actually have some great people on there, and you always drop some gems. And shout out to my homegirl DeWanda Coleman, man. She's the one who actually. She had you as a guest on her show. My sister, I think it's called My Sister Circle.
Yes.
And I loved it. I was like, wow. I'm like, that's my favorite episode.
Oh my God.
So to see you in person on the morning show, I was like, what? I'm like, this is crazy. So that was great. That was great how that happened. So yeah, I was really happy.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was really happy about that. Now, since you've been doing Speaking Life, what's some of the most interesting people you've interviewed? Or who is some of the most interesting people?
Okay, first and foremost, I would have to say our show we did on domestic violence.
Okay.
Because we had two women, both who, the one woman had killed her assailant and covered it up and stayed free for 7 years. Was it 7 years or 9 years? I think she stayed free for 7 years, and then the person who helped her cover it up got caught up in something else and told on her. Oh. And so she went to prison, and she stayed in prison, I think, for 13 or 14 years. And so now, she's out and she's telling her story. And then the second person, who was a client of mine, had been stabbed. I think they said 27 is when they stopped counting. And he slit her throat as well. And to hear her story is just fascinating. To see that she lived through it.
Right.
And that now she's talking about it. And I just love her. Her name's Tish. I just love Tish because Tish is the epitome of what resilience looks like.
That's dope.
And moving from just being a survivor to be a thriver.
Right.
So that's one of my favorite shows. I think another favorite show of mine was with Zeke from New Era Detroit.
Okay.
Because I think Zeke is doing amazing things. I just think that to see a black man, just a big black man, that is about his city and about his people, and is doing. Look, they have on bulletproof vests. And they walking through the hood. They like, no, you're not messing with our older people. You're not messing with our women, our children. You're not doing it.
Yeah.
Get out of here with that. And so I love him. And then when he was on, he was talking about his homeless weekend. They have a hotel. They rent out the entire hotel for the whole weekend and let homeless people, homeless families come and spend the night in the hotel. They get to spend 2 nights. They get to take showers. They have clothes. They have food. They feed them. They have games for the kids. They have hairdressers there to do the women's hair. They have barbers there. It is
That's amazing.
A freaking amazing.
Yes. That is
so
good.
I love people, and I say all the time that I know amazing people.
Yeah. Definitely.
I really do. I know amazing people. I have a girlfriend. She was on my show. She has a teeth whitening system. And she a black woman.
That's great. Nope.
Yes. So she was here. We had demonstrations. We was putting the white stuff on our teeth. It was amazing. So yeah, I am very pleased with what I'm doing with the show. Your engineer happens to be my engineer, happens to be my producer.
Yes, shout out to Telly, man.
Oh my gosh, she is amazing.
She is.
She really is. And so, we had an event and she came and set up and we broadcast live from the event. So it's a thing. And I think that we're going to be doing some additional big things.
Yes.
Like I'm going to Kenya.
Yeah.
On April the 24th. And I'm going with the Detroit Youth Choir.
Nice.
Because I have a title with the Detroit Youth Choir. I am their mental wellness coach.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's great. Now, how did that come about?
Let me tell you something. God is amazing.
Yes.
God is really amazing because whenever I'm going someplace or I'm leaving out the house, I'll say, God, allow me to walk into a blessing. Mm-hmm. That's my prayer. Or I'll say, God, blow your super on my natural. That's the only thing that makes supernatural.
Yeah.
So I have supernatural expectations. So this Monday, it was about 3 Mondays ago, I was walking into Fox, and Anthony White was coming out of Fox. And when he saw me, he says, "Hey, Sabrina." Now, I said, he called me Sabrina. He didn't call me Doc or Dr. Sabrina. So I said, if he called me Sabrina, he know me.
Right.
And so I went, I didn't know you knew me. That's what I said. I said, I didn't know you knew me.
Right.
And he said, I used to play for you because I sing.
Wow.
And I went, you used to play for me? He said, yeah. At Victory, you used to come over to Victory and speak. I was always playing for you. I don't even remember. I remember going to Victory.
Right.
I remember speaking there. I don't even remember singing there, but I guess I did. And so then he says, and you had a word for me and my wife before she was my wife. I was like, I did?
What? What was that word?
I don't even remember the word. What? And so then he just was like, Doc, I need you. I say anything. I've been watching y'all like I'm a fan.
Right.
I'm literally a fan.
That's dope.
Now
like that.
And now I have an office. Okay.
Right. Now, Dr. Sabrina, you've been married before, correct?
Twice. I have 2 husbands.
2 husbands. 2 husbands.
2.
Okay, so can you talk about fun after marriage?
Fun after marriage.
Yes.
Well, the first thing I think that you have to get to the point that you really tap into healing, because divorce, no matter the reason, is always difficult.
Yes.
Even when you've made the decision and you're the one that's saying, I tap out, I can't do it no more. It's still difficult because when you got married, you did not get married to get a divorce. At least I didn't. I didn't marry my first husband thinking that it was going to be over. I remember walking down the hall and down the aisle and singing. I sang to my husband as I entered the church.
Right.
Oh, yeah, it was beautiful. It was absolutely stunning. Oh, my God. So I know that for a long time I was broken. I was sad. I had a child. My son was 11 months old when we broke up. And so I was just devastated. And then for a long time, I was waiting to see if we were going to get back together.
Right.
But the day that I knew that we weren't getting back together, my whole energy shifted. I was like, because my mother said to me one night, because I had a routine. I would come home from work, get the baby, play with the baby, put the baby to bed. As soon as I put the baby to bed, I would have a crying session. And I mean the ugly cry. And so one night my mother called and I'm just, and she went, "What's wrong with you?" And I said, "My husband." And she went, "Do you think he's someplace crying over you?" Okay. I said, I never cried again. And about 2 weeks later, she called me. She said, "Well, hell, you acting like you put the nigga out." Because I got on the road of making things about what I could control.
Right.
Because I think one of the problems that people have is they spend so much time looking back and trying to change something that's not going to change. You can't change anything that happened 10 minutes ago.
That's real.
All you have is your now. What are you going to do with your now?
No fiction on that. No
so
fiction.
I really got busy living my now.
That's great.
And then walked into that second husband. And we had dated when I was in high school, between high school and college. And then I hadn't seen him in years because at that time he was a drug dealer. I didn't know that until because I was away at school and he had gotten into the drug trade. So he came and got me. And when he came and got me, I said, "Wow, this is a nice car." And I was like, "Wow, those are really nice clothes." And at that time, I don't even, Trapper's Alley was open downtown. It was Greektown now, but it was called Trapper's Alley. And so he used to work in Trapper's Alley. And so I thought to myself, wow, the Trapper's Alley is really paying good. Because he took me to his place and he was living in this high-rise apartment and he was living in the penthouse on the top floor. So I was like, wow.
Yeah.
They're really paying good. And I'm so stupid, right? And so he takes me, and he is only 2 apartments on the main floor. He owned both of them.
Wow. Okay.
Trapper's Alley.
Yeah, he was getting that bread.
Is getting it in, right? And so he takes me into one where he had one that he only kept his drugs in. And so he took me in there and he sat me at the table and it was all these little bags of white stuff. I had never seen drugs before, so I didn't know what it was.
What was going on.
So I took my finger and I was doing like this. I was like, what's these? And he said, hey, baby, you can't do that. I said, well, what is it? He said, it's crack. I said, well, what you doing with it? And he said, this is a true story. He said, I sell it. And then I went, whoa. I said, you got to take me home.
Immediately.
And I can't see you no more. Yeah. I said, because I can't be in the drug dealer's house.
Right.
And the drug dealer definitely can't come into my house.
Right.
So he took me back home. He was fussing all the way. And I was just, and in my mouth, like, he is the devil. So I stopped calling him by his name. Anytime I thought about him, I would say, the devil.
Right.
And I hadn't seen him. So I hadn't seen him in maybe 12, 13 years. And one day he came looking for me. He went to my mother's house looking for me because he had gotten a case. He spent 9 years in prison, I think. And so when he got out of prison, he says that while he was in prison, he thought, I'm going to either do all the way right or all the way wrong. All the way wrong is what led me here.
Right.
So let me try the right way. He said the only person he could think of that wasn't faded by what he was doing or trying to get money was me. So he came looking for me. So when he got to me, I just went, ooh, the devil.
Out loud,
like, you're the devil. And he was like, no, I've gotten myself together. I've changed my life. And I went, okay, let me tell you something. I've already went through a divorce. I am not looking for a relationship. And I got this young child. I'm trying to rent, and I got this business. And he said, all while I was talking, he was going, she don't even know she my wife.
Oh, that's what's up. That's fire. That is fire.
So he got me, but he didn't keep me. Because he didn't want to work. He didn't want to work. He'll tell you that now.
Because of that fast money. Yeah.
No, he was working, but he really feels like, I believe that there are just some people that feels like someone else should take care of them. There are women who feels like a man should take care of her. And there are men, because one time we had broke up, we were separated, and he said he was looking for a job and he didn't have a computer. So I said, I'll drop off my laptop. You can search for jobs while I'm at work. I get my computer back. He on a dating site called sugarmama.com.
Oh my God. You gotta clear your history.
He didn't even know. He did not clear the history.
Oh man. Okay.
So we quickly went on down to divorce court, and but we're good friends. We are very, very good friends.
That's dope.
We get along really, really well. He's probably one of the silliest people that I know. He's so silly, and like if we just have all these jokes that are just reminiscent of the times we were together. But yeah, I don't think that you have to break up with a person and be bitter. No,
you don't. You really don't. You really don't. I wish it was that easy for everybody, but it unfortunately is not.
But it's a sign of maturity when you can let the past be the past.
Yes.
I can't change what happened.
Right.
All I have is my now.
Yep.
And what am I doing with my now?
Exactly.
And I don't have to be mean to you. I don't have to grim you when I see you. I remember when my first husband got remarried, and he told me that he got engaged, and the girl we were at church. At his church, I was visiting, and he said, well, that's her. Her name Tracy's walking up and I stopped talking to him and ran to catch up with her.
Oh, wow.
And I said, hey, congratulations on your pending marriage. I'm so happy for you. And I said, let me tell you something. I hugged her. I said, because we got to get along, because we got a son to raise.
Right.
Because I got a son, but I need you to love my son too.
Yeah.
And sometimes people will treat your children wrong because you treat them wrong.
There you go. Yes,
so I don't treat folk wrong. I want you to love me, and I want you to love my child. And it's so funny because they're now divorced. And me, Marcel, his stepsister, and Tracy, we all hang out and do stuff together all the time.
That's dope. See, that's how it should be. Yeah.
Because we grown-ups.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a lot of people that's grown that don't want to grow up. I don't get it, especially when there's kids involved. Like, come on, man. You want them to have a better upbringing. You should want them to.
But it reminds me of, what's that? It was a parody of Boys in the Hood. It was with the Wayans brothers. And the one Wayans brother, Sean.
Don't be a menace.
Yeah. Yes. And his daddy was as young as him.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was hilarious.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh my God, everything that he should have been doing as a teenager, his daddy was doing.
Right. Yep.
Oh my God, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
And so that's true for some people.
It is. Especially people that actually have done time. I've noticed, they'll go to jail at a certain age, not knowing what it's like in the world, come home, and they still acting the same way. I understand that. I've seen it happen too many times. But also, back to what you said earlier about healing from marriage, I really wish people would understand how important that is, because it's a lot, and I've done it myself. I'm on my third marriage right now because I didn't learn my lesson from the first two. I didn't heal from the first one, and I was so busy trying to get over the first marriage, I jumped into something else because she had my son. So I was like, I need to be there for my son because I knew what it was like growing up without a father.
Okay.
So that's what I was doing, or at least I thought I was doing the right thing. Mm-hmm. But it was really important. I wish I had somebody in my corner letting me know, like, hey, don't rush, or don't do this, don't do that. It's really important to heal, and I wish I had that around growing up.
Let me say this. A part of healing is honesty. Mm-hmm. I said, I feel an acronym coming. I feel it coming. But honesty is important. And first, you got to be honest with yourself. And you have to forgive yourself for the part you played.
Yeah.
Whether it was that you wasn't honest with them, mm-hmm. that you didn't tell your whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God. And so it's really important. Honesty is huge, and a lot of people aren't honest with themselves. So they're out here doing things when they're not really healed.
Yeah.
They're just not. And they're just jumping from one place to another. And to be real honest, that's nasty.
Yeah.
It's just nasty. Because, because it's sometimes, I saw this on social media someplace. It says that having safe sex is more than just wearing a condom.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because you are entering into spiritual connections with folk.
Yep.
And then you might be spiritually schizophrenic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because you got all kind of spirits running up and through you.
Yep. Taking on all kind of traumas.
And so, yeah.
Yep.
And so you have to, that honesty thing is just so, and so you have to kind of ask yourself the tough questions. You know, I always say the number one reason why people fail at anything is coachability. Because how do you get better if can't nobody tell you nothing?
There you go.
And too often we get stuck.
Yep.
And people not being able to tell us something because we think we know something because somebody done asked us something. Well, they not asking you everything.
Yeah.
You don't know everything.
Yep.
I'm so guilty of it.
I'm stubborn too. I was really stubborn at one point. So yeah, it took a while to grow out of that.
I don't know if I'm still growing. I'm still growing.
But I wish I'd stop getting taught, like, you know, hey, you want to get over somebody, go with somebody else, or get under something. No, that's not it.
If you want to get over an old love, get up under a new love.
No. That is not it. And you know what? I thought that was the way to go because I watched my mom go through it. I watched her, one boyfriend gone, she got another one. I'm like, oh, okay, so this is cool for me to do. At least I thought, you know. So
that's why it's so important that we watch what we show our children.
Yes.
Well, we watch what we show anybody. I said this to a group of young people just the other day at Cody. I said, I really believe that everyone is a leader. And what I mean by that, not that everyone is a leader that's going to run a program, but everyone is a leader because the definition of being a leader is that somebody's following you. You don't know who's watching you.
Yeah.
There may be somebody watching you making decisions based on what they see you do.
Yes.
What are you showing them?
Yeah.
So modeling is the number one way to learn a social or behavioral skill. It's not what we say, it's what we see. And so what do you see? And so when people say, well, I never saw a healthy relationship, so I have no clue what a healthy relationships look like. So now I ask this question because I do a lot of trainings for couples. I ask this question, I'm going to ask you, what is your favorite TV or movie couple and why?
Favorite TV or movie couple? Honestly, I don't have a favorite.
Really?
No, I don't, because I don't look up to, you know, I don't have like a couple goal or nothing like that for celebrities because they go through stuff like we do.
But not even just because of their celebrity, but because of the roles they played in the movie, like the movie couple or the TV couple. A lot of people say the Huxtables because in that family structure they laugh. I love that show and the way they showed how they didn't get along sometimes and how they made up. Just you know, all of that is to me real life stuff. Yeah.
You know what? If I had to pick anybody, I have to say Martin and Gina.
Okay.
Because they had their issues. Ego was in the way, emotions, all of that. It was a bit of everything with them as a couple that I saw, and I kind of went through some of it as well. So if I had to say anybody, it'd be those two.
Wonderful, Chantel.
Probably Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv.
Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv. Now y'all gonna really trip out when y'all hear who mine says.
Who?
Bonnie and Clyde.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
How did we miss that? That's like the dynamic.
Well, because to me, even though they were doing things that were illegal, he was down for her and she was down for him.
Yeah.
And I want to ride or die.
Yeah, that's real.
And what I love, he knew that she loved poetry and he would read to her. And so even though he could shoot him up, he had a tender side, and his tender side he showed with her.
Yeah.
Yes! I want a man who's a man, but at home he can read me poetry. Come on.
Yeah, that's real. I get that. I definitely get that. That makes sense, though.
Yeah.
It's no different from a man that want a lady in the streets but a freak in the bed.
Well, I need him to be a little freak in the bed. I don't need it. I'm just
That's
saying.
real. Stay strong, fellas. Stay strong. But when did the real fun started kicking in after the marriage?
What for me, I really believe that I bring my fun with me.
Okay.
I don't go looking for fun.
Right.
I am fun.
Right.
So I seek to do the things that I like. So even if I'm by myself, I like my company.
That's real.
I like what I like to watch. I like the music that I like. I like spending time alone because I like me.
Yeah.
And so that's when you really, to me, tap into having fun.
Yeah.
Is when you really like your own company.
Yeah.
And then when I'm around people that I like, because like people like similar things.
Mm-hmm.
So I hang out with my girlfriends. I'll do all of that. So yeah, I just always, and travel is huge.
Yes.
Huge for me. I jump on the plane
Quick.
today
Yeah.
if I could. If I don't have nothing to do tomorrow, I might just go somewhere.
Yeah.
So I love travel because I love people and I like to meet different people. And so I have goals about where I want to go and things I want to do. But then I think the other thing is that what makes life fun is to simply live life.
Yeah.
You got to live this thing.
Yeah.
And have fun and celebrate and don't beat up on yourself when you don't get it right because you're not going to get it right every time.
That's real. Yes.
I don't get it right every time. I make mistakes.
Yeah.
But I try to learn from them and then do better next time.
Yeah.
But I cannot beat up on myself because that's wasted time and energy.
Yeah, it's definitely counterproductive. I believe that. I used to do it all the time, and I think it came from me being a perfectionist.
Oh yeah.
So,
there's no such thing.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as perfectionist.
Yeah.
No such thing. Because some of the greatest lessons that we learn after we've messed up.
Exactly.
We didn't get it right. So now, now Sabrina, I got to really pay attention here. I got to do this differently. I have to
Yeah, I get it. That's
mean
why
what I say and say what I mean. I have to stop making assumptions because when you make an assumption, you're always making it off of limited information.
Mm-hmm.
Stop taking things personally because when even someone does something to you, it has more to do with what's going on inside of them than what's going on inside of you. So why are you taking it personally?
Yeah, that's real.
And then in every situation, just do your best.
Yes.
And know your best changes from situation to situation. I'm different when I'm sick or when I'm well. I'm different.
Yeah.
And when I'm different, if all I could do was my best, that's all I could do. So
That's real. I definitely hear you on that. Now, would you get married a third time?
I don't know. That's funny. Yes, I would.
That's good.
I would if all it'd have to all be aligned.
Yeah.
There's so many things that have to go. I used to tell my mother. My mother been gone since 2013, but oh my God, I used to tell my mother, Jesus is gonna have to sit right next to me, like right here, and tap me on my shoulder and look me right in my face. He the one. That's him. That's him.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Okay, Jesus.
Yep.
I got you. But if that don't happen, because my mother used to tell me this. Oh, she used to say, Sabrina, your picker is broken. Your picker is broken, ma'am, and you must let me help you pick. It was her and my uncle. My uncle used to say that to me too. I need to meet him. And so both of them have gone to glory now. So I feel like Jesus himself
Right.
is going to have to sit next to me.
Definitely.
And say, ma'am, this is the one.
That's cool. Now, since you've been having fun, you've been doing your thing. How has being out there like that, adjusted? How have you adjusted to it, and how have the people that you have dated adjusted to it?
He think he's slick. Cause see, I told him we wasn't gonna be talking.
No, not nothing about nothing. Nothing close. Nothing close.
Look. He think he's slick. Talking with Todd. Okay, I will say this. Since I have a level of public status or people knowing me in the public, the one thing, more people know me than I know them.
Right.
And so people will walk up to me that I don't know, but they'll know my name. They'll know my son's name. They'll just know stuff. And I'll go, like, who be that woman? Who be that woman? And so that's a little daunting for me sometimes.
Got you.
And so I know for the people that I've dated that some people will be irritated that people kept walking up to me. They'll say stuff like, don't they see you on a date? This our time. They can't be talking to you. Don't be talking to them. I've had guys say to other people, oh, she with me. She can't talk to you right now. No, sir. You can't do that.
Right.
Because this is what keeps me relevant.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the people
that
make that happen. So we can't dog the people.
Right.
What else has happened? So it can be a little daunting. I'll just say this, and my son is probably the greatest example, is because, he's 31 now. And a couple of years ago, I had him as my +1 at the Detroit auto show preview, the gala, the charity gala. So we dressed up, suited and booted, and we were having a great time. I was having a great time.
Right.
And he stopped about 2 hours in and looked me in my face and says, oh, I see why you single. And I went, well, what I do? He said, because all of this is a lot.
Yeah.
He said, don't nobody want to talk to me. Everybody wants me to get out the way and take the picture. He said, so it's going to take somebody that can handle all of that.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to care about them.
Now, how's your son, really adjusted to you being out there like that?
He's adjusted. My son's so laid back and so, he's so cool. And he knows that at the end of the day, the one person that can absolutely get to me is him.
Okay. That's what's up.
He knows that. And so I will say this. I had got COVID.
Okay.
I was in California, and so I was in the hospital. They had to come get me in the ambulance, as they say. My grandma's ambulance. They called 911 to come get me, and I was in the hospital for 28 days.
Okay.
So I was very sick. And so that was a scary time because that's when you couldn't even come to the hospital. So I stayed 28 days and didn't see anybody I knew. Not one person.
Wow.
No person. And my son had to be talking to the doctors and all that kind of stuff, but he wasn't there because he couldn't come
in. Yeah.
He couldn't come in.
Yeah.
So I will say that was very trying and testing for him, but I want to say he handled it so well. I was so proud of him. I was so proud of him because he was talking with the doctors. He had a chat where all my friends and people that are close to me, he would update them every day. And so he handled that like a trooper. I said, all right, son.
Right. That's cool.
I'm proud of you.
That's good.
But he's very protective of me. And he'll say things like, people have too much access to you. You need another number. So I got another number.
Okay.
So I try to do better, but I love people. So
right, exactly.
But yeah, so he's doing well. He's doing well with it, and he'll say, "We can't go nowhere. Everybody gonna know my mom."
Now, okay, before we get out of here, I do have to ask you. You travel a lot. What's one of your favorite places that you've been to so far?
So far, I would say Dubai. Dubai was absolutely breathtaking. The opulence of it, like when you get off the airplane and you're looking at the clocks in the airport, they're Rolex clocks.
Wow.
Who has a Rolex clock?
Right.
The people in Dubai. And then all of the palaces and like they come pick you up in a cab. The cab is a Bentley. Who's driving a Bentley cab?
Oh.
The people in Dubai.
Yeah. That's dope.
And so I think in my hotel, this was funny because I recorded it. It was on my social media. But the bathroom was so gorgeous. It was just so gorgeous. And the tub, I kept looking at the tub and I said, I don't see where the water comes in because I didn't see anything where the water could come in. I said, how does the water get in the tub? So I turned it on and it came from the ceiling. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
That's dope. Now, where's the place that you want to go to?
That I haven't been?
Yeah.
Egypt.
Okay.
I want to go to Egypt because I want to see the pyramids for myself.
Gotcha.
Because to me, how did they build them?
Yeah.
It's each stone weighed a ton. How they get that ton all the way to the top?
Right.
And they didn't have planes.
Right.
Woo! And we cannot, and we got planes.
Right.
And we got stuff. We can't build them.
Nope.
It was things that they did in Egypt that we still can't do.
Yeah.
Like they would mummify a body, and the face of the body still looks like our faces today. Mm-hmm. It didn't decay. How they do that?
Yeah.
And we can't do that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Exactly.
Man.
I love it because when you go, like, you know, at the DIA, they have a mummy there. Mm-hmm. And the face of the mummy is the actual face of the mummy.
Wow. That's dope. I know you're going to get ready. I know you're going to go pretty soon. So, last question. I have a segment of my show. I call it Confidence. It's just a play on words with confidence. Now, what's something that you would say to anybody that you think might need it to just instill some confidence in them?
Understand that there is nobody, and I mean nobody, on the planet like you. God made each of us unique, so unique that your fingerprints, don't nobody else have a fingerprint like yours. Your lip print, nobody else has a lip print like yours. So know that if God took all that time to make you your unique self, it is something uniquely crafted in you that only you can do.
That's so dope. Thank you. That is so dope. That's it. Show is over, y'all. Thank you.
Drop the mic.
Yes, drop the mic. Thank you so much for joining me, Dr. Sabrina. I really appreciate it.
Well, this was fun talking with Todd.
Yep. Thank you so much. And thank you, Telly, again. Very dope producer, very dope engineer. Appreciate you making this show really dope. And listen, till next time, ladies and gentlemen, this is Talks with Todd. We out of here. Indeed.
Ladies and gentlemen,